with all the concern about the flu going on and all that stuff, what kind of precautions are you guys taking?
That's a great question. First thing is it starts at my house with my 3 kids, because once it gets started from a coach, you bring it in. But the players, we have those machines that do your hands. We got them in every meeting room, got them in the weight room, got them in the locker rooms. And it is a requirement for our players, and it got talked about again in our staff meeting this morning. When they walk into their position meeting rooms, they do their hands, and they get their Gatorades and Gatorlights to keep their body hydrated before they even sit down. And the coaches do the same, and that happens as much as possible throughout the day. You would like to think you didn't have to talk about it, but everybody, when practice is over, has to shower before they leave there. I mean, you have to stay clean. I mean, it's very important, and that's a scary situation with the flu going around, because as much as we're together as coaches and players, you take 150 people and you're together all the time. We worry about that, but we're trying to do everything we can to prevent it. Our medical staff, Dr. Ivan and Rob Hunt, they work on it and they talk about it all the time, things we can do. So hopefully we've held up pretty good. But it is something that we talk about.
If you found out that a team you were playing the flu had run through their team, how much concern would you have about going and playing them?
We wouldn't do pregame handshake, I'll tell you that. That'd be out. I don't think it matters, because they're going to make you go play them anyway. Has that happened to some team that I don't know about it? Or
there's several teams that have been hit by the flu. So
yeah, I mean, I could. Yeah, see, I don't know really what's going on out there, but it is a concern, because, you knock on wood, but if that comes through and your team and hits 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 with the wrong guys, you're in a tough situation, because it lasts about 3 days. See, I think the quarterback from Georgia got sick before they played us, and he was probably, I don't know, I'm throwing this out, but he didn't play with the team, so he must have been pretty sick.
Coach, you talked a little bit about Grambling, and could you elaborate a little bit more about them and maybe what you're most concerned about?
Well, their quarterback's a good player. He makes a lot of plays. I visited with the defense, and their concern is stopping him. He runs around, makes throws. He's athletic. And then defensively, as I mentioned, they're really big across the front. They're unusual in that they're 270, 285. 285 and 280 in the inside. You usually get your big guys inside, and then our league, you see a lot of 240, 245-pound guys. Well, they're 270 and 275 on the edge, and they're athletic. They have a middle safety that comes down and tackles a lot, and reminds me of guys that we play in our league. In fact, reminds me of number 30 that we just played from Rice, who's a very good tackler that's physical. His number's 16. I don't know what his name either, but those guys come downhill. I haven't watched a lot of their. I've just watched very little of their offense. I just know what our defensive coaches have told me.
Mike, even without the swine flu, you've had a couple of injuries in key positions, several, I'd say.
Yeah.
You've had a key guy or two leave the team. You've had to sit some guys during games. For you personally, has this been a tough start to the season?
It has. I just walked by and saw this laying on the desk out here, and nobody claimed it, so I took it and kept it in my pocket. It makes my stomach feel a lot better. But it has been a difficult start for us. But that's the way it is. What are you going to do about it? We've had some guys that get hurt. Guys get hurt in football. We had some discipline measures that needed to take place, and we're always going to do that here. And unfortunately, at times, young men fall by the wayside. That's not our goal. That's not what we want to accomplish. But we're going to press forward, and we're going to continue to work the young players. And the guys that are going to give us effort and do everything that we ask, they're the ones that will play on Saturday. We're not always perfect, neither are the players. But it's just kind of the philosophy that we've kept up, and it's worked for us up to this point.
Mike, reviewing game tape of Grambling, have you stumbled upon any footage of their marching band?
Have not seen any footage of the marching band, but and won't get to see any of it. But obviously must be terrific. I've seen it in the past, and I can't imagine that it would be anything less than that.
I'm not going to name names. Some of the guys earlier were kind of lobbying to have the halftime speech on the field so they could watch the game.
You talking about the players? Yeah, they better lobby to practice hard this week, or they'll get a good chance to watch the band right up here below the press level. They can watch the band all they want.
Now, you're glad you're not playing these guys 40 years ago. Buck Buchanan, Willie Davis, Charlie Joyner.
Eddie Robinson, Doug Williams, and all of them, no question.
So you're familiar with their legacy.
Oh, I think everybody is. Eddie Robinson is, if you look back at his career, and they had that documentary on him. I don't know when I saw that, but that's a pretty amazing story what that guy was able to accomplish. So it's a very, very tradition-rich program, and we have a lot of respect for what they've accomplished. And our guys need to stay focused on the task at hand and not worry about anything like the band. And I'm guessing their band is going to take care of themselves. Their history says that they'll be just fine. We don't need to worry about them.
Mike, I think it was last week you talked about coaching your guys with the thought in mind of the new rules, the helmet to helmet and all that. Is there a fine line of not taking the aggression out of it?
No question. I think it's one of the biggest. A couple years ago I talked about one of the biggest rule changes when they moved the kickoff back to the 30, and it didn't really take effect that first year. Robert did some statistics on it, but if you look now, more and more kickoffs are landing on between the 5 and 10 yard line, and there's returns. I mean, it's a big gamble. It's a big part of the game. This is going to be another factor in college football from here on out, because unfortunately there's a lot of gray area in what is actually a head-to-head blow and what's not. I mean, and you got just that much time to make a decision, and we've talked about it and we've coached it. But to answer your question, you want your defense to be aggressive. You don't want to take their stinger away from them, but you also don't want 15-yard penalties. And so there's a real fine line there.
You seem to have some guys that's their personalities. They're going to come up and lay it on you.
Yes, and that's good. I mean, that hadn't been our personality around here for a number of years. And so it's another discussion that took place this morning. We want them to be aggressive, but in the second hand, we're saying we don't want you to get a 15-yard penalty. So I think the way to handle it is late hits out of bounds, things like that. Those fall into the not very smart category. If you're going after a guy and it's a split decision and you hit him and they flag you, they flag you. But you can't pull off of them all the time. You pull off of them all the time, they're going to wear you out. So, yes, you're right. We're just doing the best we can.
You've got the safety factor, which makes it difficult because that's what they're going to say the rules all
That's
about.
right. They're going to err on safety.
Can you see the coaches maybe re-examining it a little bit, because you're seeing some plays that really aren't helmet to helmet and not even crown
that's right.
helmet being flagged?
Right, and it's gone both ways. That's why I'm not sure that it's really the right thing, because there's so much left up to the officials, and right or wrong, that's a hard decision for them to make in a split decision. I mean, just in a split second, I should say. It's hard.
They reverse their call. They pick the flag up
Right.
after they talk to each other.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Coach, I'm sure the offense is expected to do well this week. Is this a game where even if they do well against maybe an inferior defense, it could get things going heading into Big 12 play?
Well, we just want them to go out and execute our game plan. We expect them to study and practice hard and make adjustments depending on what looks that they'll give us. The looks that we're getting are in most cases not what we see on tape. I mean, it changes each week, and so we have to make adjustments on the run early in the game.
Mike, it looks like across the country the blueprint for a schedule these days is one major team you play, 2 mid-levels, and an FCS team. Is that kind of the blueprint you'd like to follow in your schedule?
Well, that gets brought up all the time, and again, you're debating season ticket sales and fan support and everything else involved. But the league we play in is a very difficult league, and the one concern you have when you play a really tough non-conference schedule is can your team hold up with 85 scholarships? Can you get ready to play, and can you stay healthy enough to compete down the stretch in league play? And I don't know that anybody has that answer. I mean, if you look across the country, there's certain coaches that have coached a number of years that have their philosophy. And as a coach, there's you want to be physical and you want to be in great shape, but you also have to stay healthy for the long run. You got 4 months of it. And when you play a tough non-conference schedule, you take the risk of not being healthy games 7 through 12. Good. All right. Thanks.